All right, boys. I'm filming here at my home shop. Home's my home shop. Anyway, as promised, I put bearings in this 8.5 here, and I was gonna go over a few things with you, and then I'm gonna bust it down. Cut the camera off, bust it down. We'll get back to pressing some bearings on it all. First off, I want to say, if you're gonna do this as a dropout unit, a third member unit, if you're gonna build these things, you have got to have a fixture just like this, or they make a nicer one than this. I've had this forever. But you got to have one of these. You cannot set your side carrier bearing preload. You can't set your pinion bearing preload without something to anchor it down. You've got to have it. Don't try it without it. All you're doing is fucking your customer. You got to have it. Got to have it. And another thing I got to have on these units is these spanners. Well, I laid it. Here it is. These spanners here. These spanners, and I ain't got it turned around here, but y'all probably know what I'm talking about. It's these. I'll show them to you in a little bit. But it's how you set your preload on your side carrier bearings. You move your ring gear over, set your backlash, and you just turn. These are threaded, and it's got little cogs on them that engage right here. You got to have these too. You got to be able to set your preload right, because you'll run into ring gear flex. It won't sit right. You know, if your backlash isn't right, your pattern ain't gonna be right. You got to have it. Now you see people with needle nose pliers or snap ring pliers. They're shooting pool with a rope. It ain't worth a damn. So don't even do it. I've got some more over here. These are two for 2 9-inch Fords. That's a 31. The whole area in the center is bigger. That's a 31 spline axle, and that'd be a 28, I think, was the other size, 20 or 29. And then this one right here is for the independent front suspension GMs, the S10s, big trucks, Escalades, all that. These fit the side carrier bearings on the independent front suspension. All right, I got all my parts laid out here. Look at that damn pinion bearing. 8.5 has got a damn pinion bearing. All right, got all my parts laid out. I'm gonna bust this thing down, and we'll get back and we'll start pressing some bearings off, and I'll give you a little more insight. All right. All right, boys, I got it broke down here. Got the races drove out of it. Got these races that sit up in here. This is your front, and this is your rear. Make sure I'm right here. This is your front, and this is your rear. They just drop in there, just about like a wheel, brake rotor. Just drop in there. And there's a little place behind it. You just take a punch. You just take a punch and go in behind them in the case and just knock them out. You just walk them out. I knocked the shit out of my thumb. Hell yeah. But goddamn, look at this fucking race I'm pressing out. That's a hell of a damn race. Big ass bearing. But anyway, a couple things I want to go over. That's what it looks like on the other side broke out. A couple things I want to go over. All right, number one, if you got a bearing noise in the rear end, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be the front pinion bearing. It's the furthest away from the oil. It stalls for lubricant. This one's gold, just like they all do. That's where you know it's going to be. You know, you see these people replace a whole rear end, a whole assembly because of a bearing noise. It'd be a damn $12 bearing. Kills me. But anyway, all right. Another thing I want to go over here. You got your crushing here. This is what sets your preload in between your two bearings. It just squeezes. Now, Nick was talking about doing a Dana 80. They use shims to get your preload, and that's kind of beyond the focus here. But this just crush sleeve, it just squeezes and it puts pressure against the bearings, and that's what gives you your preload. All right, and another thing, let me think what I was wanting to go over. Side carrier bearings. Side carrier bearings, and I know some of you will probably argue with me, but I don't want to fucking hear it, because I'm right. They never, you can't over tighten them, you can't over preload them. I have put fence posters on pry bars before, and I ain't never burnt one up yet. They just don't burn up. But anyhow, but what'll get these side carrier bearings more than anything is when you get these saddles mixed up. These saddles, this thing sits in there like so, you know that. And your little saddles right here will sit and hold it. If you get some of this crossed, it was milled together, line board together. If you get them crossed up, it's gonna fucking bearings up. That's why y'all know, I use fingernail polish. I always put me a mark at the top. Right, red is right for me. That's top right, mark the case. I know that's there. And then this is self-explanatory. Very, very, very important. Do not get these crossed up and mark them before you pull it apart. All right, here's your here's your spanners or your spanner nuts or whatever you want to call them that you set your preload with. And like I said, it's like you got your cogs right here. It's threaded. On a 9-inch, a lot of times you get a lip around here. You got to take a file and knock it off. It ain't no big deal. Don't order no more. Just take a file and knock it off. And they just sit in there and you just turn, and it just pushes your carrier one way or the other, and further into the pinion or back away from the pinion. Ain't really much to it. I had to use a puller. Oh, another thing. Had to use a puller here to get this flange off. When it's flat like this and the dry shot like a forward bolts to it flat like that, like this right here, it's flat. It's called a flange. If it's got the damn little U's in it for the universal joint to sit in, it's called a yoke. Get it, get it right. I mean, use your right terminology. All right. With that said, I'm only doing bearings, so I can leave the ring gear on it. I ain't gonna have to go in the damn carrier. With that said, I'm gonna get my bearing separator and I'm gonna start pressing some bearings off. So give me a minute and I'll be right back.